You know, they say things happen in threes. We had a New York owner be very candid about a player. We had, and we'll give you the details coming up here in a second, a New York player be very candid about a coach from another team. I was waiting for something else to happen yesterday. Maybe it'll happen today. But I just want to emphasize in advance, and I think it's possible to believe two things at once. Number one, Russell Wilson has had a very good playing career. The physical skills have diminished. His days as a starter are over. If he wants to continue to be in the NFL, he's going to have to go the Joe Flacco route. And maybe it'll give him an opportunity to play at some point. You know, Joe Flacco, once he became a backup, we didn't know when an opportunity was going to arise. And you play in those settings, the bar is lower. You can impress some people. You can have a big night like Flacco did. But I think there's not going to be a week one starting job for Russell Wilson next year. That ship has sailed. That said, great career. Maybe Hall of Fame. I don't know. May have diminished his chances in recent years.
I don't think Hall of Fame. I do not think Hall of Fame. No.
But there's always been this element of everything that he says is calculated. Everything that he says is manicured. Everything that he says hides the human. That's why I made the comment on the way. Like, it reminds me of Pinocchio, when Pinocchio becomes a real boy. You know, not this wooden figure that is doing all the things that someone else is pulling the strings. Although he was pulling his own strings, he was playing the role, I always believed, of what he thinks an NFL quarterback should be. Doing the things, saying the things, acting the way that he believes that an NFL quarterback should act, and his perfect vision of how they should act. And we rarely saw what was going on inside of him. Well, yesterday, and I'm happy about this. I'm glad he did it. Before we show you what Russell Wilson had to say, here is the comment that sufficiently caused that shell to be broken. Sean Payton talking about Jackson Dart versus Russell Wilson as opponents for the Denver Broncos.
I have a ton of respect for that organization. I spent 4 of my early years there, coordinating Super Bowl, first game in this stadium before 9/11. Close with the Mayor Tisch family. And, you know, they found a little spark with that quarterback. I was talking to John Mayer not too long ago, and I said we were hoping that that change would have happened long after our game. But anyway.
Grass is paying Broncos. It ain't enough. Because the whole time I'm just looking at, what the hell is tall grass? It's right there. It's like a drive-in movie theater screen. Hey, Broncos, you need to ask for more money because it worked. I don't know what tall grass is, but I didn't even know it was a thing. And now all I'm thinking is, what the hell is tall grass? I got to go find out what tall grass is. But the point was that Sean Payton took a little shot at Russell Wilson. He wanted to face Russell Wilson, didn't want to face Jackson Dart. And, I mean, okay, like, I didn't think it was that bad. He didn't come out and say it.
No.
But he danced around it, and we all got the point. And look, it's not like it's some controversial take. During the period of time that Jackson Dart was in the blue tent 13 days ago in the win over the Eagles, the fans were very restless when Russell Wilson was in the game. And one of the reasons Daboll and the Giants are under investigation now is because Daboll wanted to find out when's Dart coming back, because there's a 4th down coming up. And if he's coming back, I'm going to call timeout and go for it. Implication being, there's no way in hell I'm going to go for it with the other guy.
Yeah.
So this isn't, we all know, we've all seen it. Yes, Jackson Dart is currently better than Russell Wilson. So that in and of itself, I didn't think was a big deal. It was just a kind of a statement of the obvious.
No, I mean, yes. I think anybody that's paid attention to Sean Payton and over the years, I mean, first off, I ask you this. Is Sean Payton the number one outlaw in the NFL? He's the outlaw. He's the outlaw. He's Billy the Kid. He doesn't give an F about anything in a lot of ways. He challenges the NFL. He says what's on his mind, right? At times he can have a little bit of just this like rolling, streaming unconsciousness talk where I think it gets him in trouble, like there or with the USA Today last year, right? It was the USA Today or whatever,
wow.
Right?
It was 2 years ago. It was the comments about
But either way,
Jets,
he can get talking and he can't
Broncos.
stop is all I'm trying to say. And I think that was one of those moments there where he's kind of trying to tell you how much he loves the Giants and the organization. And within trying to tell you they got a special guy within Jackson Dart, right? He makes a comment that, of course, is, insensitive to a Russell Wilson. But, not really that insensitive. Okay, I mean, yeah, duh. I mean, the guy has added a spark to the football team. Yeah, I'd love to see the guy that looked like crap on Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, we would rather see that guy than the guy who's come in and been hard to defend and makes plays everywhere and has 15 completions and almost throws for 300 yards, so it's explosive. So from that standpoint, I get it, But yeah, you're still talking.
And he can move. And he can move. He's
exactly.
got a mobility that
elite
Russell Wilson
playmaking
used
ability.
to have.
Right, elite playmaking ability. But all right. So within all that too, because I know it's a little different. You don't like what Woody said. But was Sean, you're okay with it saying it just because he's not on his team a little
It's
there?
not on his team.
Yeah,
it's not on his team. He was essentially praising Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
There was an impish quality to the way Payton did it, right? Woody Johnson just came out and took a crap on one of his key employees. There's no current employment relationship, no relationship between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. And look, is it ideal? No. But, there isn't that need to have that relationship. And I didn't think it was so obviously bad that anyone would react to it. And I never thought Russell Wilson would react to it because he doesn't react to anything.
Yeah.
There's a calculation you have to make when someone takes a shot at you. Do I dignify it with a response? Do I elevate it? Do I amplify what this person said by saying something about it?
Right.
And Russell Wilson, 2 days later, reacted. These were comments from Sean Payton in the post-game press conference after the Broncos beat the Giants. Not Monday, not cold-blooded, after the game. After they dealt with Jackson Dart, were down 19-0 and 26-8, and then down again after they took the lead because Dart took the Giants down the field. This was right after the game. 2 days later, Russell Wilson goes to Twitter without context and says, classless but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15-plus years later through the media. Emoji, let's ride, crying emoji. I think it's great. It's the first human moment. Russell Wilson has been in the NFL public eye for 13 years. It is the first truly human moment from Russell Wilson. I doubt that it was the product of a brainstorming session by his handlers and PR people. How should we respond? Because the answer would have been we don't respond. This was great. I loved it. And, it makes things a little spicy. Too bad they don't play later. Too bad he didn't say it last week before the game. But I like it. He went bounty mode. The scandal from 2012 that got Sean Payton suspended for the entire year. Doesn't really fit. A little bit dated. But I thought it was awesome. I thought it was awesome that Russell Wilson just show us you're something other than this creation that I remember reading that his dad had him do press conferences when he was 7 years old. It's nice to see authenticity. We don't have enough authenticity in the world. That's why I liked. I guess under that, I should like what Woody Johnson said.
Yeah, I was going to say. I don't know why you're kind of talking. Yeah,
lines,
one guy was just even more real in authenticity.
There's still lines you don't cross when these are your employees.
Yeah.
There's a basic way of doing business where you don't shit on your employees publicly.
Yeah.
But for what Payton and Russell Wilson did, there was an authenticity to it that I think I can appreciate.
Yeah, I hear. I have no problem with what Russell Wilson did. I get it. Yeah, stick up for yourself. Sure, take a shot. He took a shot at you. I don't know if he intentionally meant to really take a shot at you or not, but either way, it's there. It caught caught fire yesterday on Tuesday, so I think that's why it was yesterday where I know I was in here doing my podcast and all that in the early afternoon, and that's where you started to hear about, man, Sean Payton took a shot at Russell Wilson, and you started to see it all over social media, and I'm sure Russell Wilson saw it eventually, and then he just was like, well, that's some bull crap. But I come back to, I'm dead serious. Is there a bigger outlaw in the NFL than Sean Payton?
No.
He is the most gangster guy in the NFL, whether it's Bountygate, other things, Nathaniel Hackett and having to deal with that, right?
That was the whole
USA Today thing. Right. This here, hey, how about 2 weeks ago? The tush push is the safest play in football. Like literally just like F you NFL and your bull crap. And I'm going to say this because you're trying to put out some crazy narrative that it's an unsafe play because you don't like it. And he pushes back against it. I love that Sean Payton's like that.
Well,
I think there needs to be more head coaches like that push back on the NFL, and maybe some of the narratives are out there at times.
They suspended him for something for which he was ultimately responsible, even though Greg Williams was the guy who was in charge of the defense, and Greg Williams had done this everywhere he'd been, and
so did a lot of other coaches. Yeah, but
it was widespread, but they didn't want to acknowledge it was a cultural issue.
Right.
This was about sending a message at a time when they were under siege from the concussion lawsuits. And if they had told the truth, if they had gone all the way down the Greg Williams rabbit hole and other coaches who were connected to Greg Williams at times, coaches you've played for, like if they had fully explored this, they would have realized how systemic it was. And then you have to worry about Congress. You got to worry about all sorts of governmental action. If we would have had, nightly news coverage of this. Every team in the league has a bounty program to some degree or another. And I don't know that every team did, but every stop that Greg Williams had definitely had one, and they didn't want to hear it. So my point is that this was a Greg Williams issue, not a Sean Payton issue, and Sean Payton got sucked into it. And, there may or may not have been an effort by some forces within the league to get Sean Payton fired by Tom Benson, the owner of the team 100%. At the time.
I think everybody in the league knows that. There was a push to get him out of the league. The league didn't want him. They didn't like him. He was looked as an outlaw that wouldn't go along with, the company phrases and all of that.
There may have been a push to keep him out when Greg Penner decided to hire him. That could have happened too.
Yeah, right. I remember hearing that too, that the league might be poo-pooing the idea of Sean Payton back in the NFL. I hear you. Right. So that's who he is, but I like it. And of course, I like the way he coaches football. I like his team, and they got a damn good team there right now, but he's got his work cut out for him because right now the problem with their team is their offense. Their second-year quarterback who's damn good, and we're seeing his clutch and all that.
Playing more like Russell Wilson than Jackson Dart right now.
Yeah, but it's the offense itself. I mean, like we see. I mean, they're winning football games because they're clutch at the end, but it's underwhelming. It's periods of stagnant that you just go, whoa, I'm not used to seeing this with Sean Payton. And they're one of those teams that I look at to go, will they make a move at the trade deadline? Because they're a team I look at to go, if they can get another offensive weapon, another receiver, you go, ooh, watch out. Now they really got something. And they're on the borderline of that anyways, as we know. So, the Denver's a fun watch, and that's because of Sean Payton. He's one of the best there is out there.
Yes, he is, and it makes things fun. I like a little drama. I like a little intrigue. The games don't have to be confined to the games. There can be a little mixing of it up, but still, I still think Woody Johnson went too far because you don't throw your own employees. When you're the leader of an organization, $1 billion organization, you don't throw your employees under the bus.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.